Hello all, Namaste. Today I am here to talk about Night of the Seven Kingdoms series. It is prequel to Game of Thrones and sequel to House of Dragons, I guess. I didn't know the timeline, but there are no dragons in this series. They tell dragons are all dead, so I'm assuming it's after the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And I finished binge watching House of Dragons recently, so I had to watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The movie starts with Dunk, who wants to become a knight or who will be the squire to Sir Arkin, and then it starts. And how does it start? I see him pooping. I mean, literal feces and how he poops. I'm like, I understand Game of Thrones was little mm, erosive or too much nudity. I don't know why should I see someone pooping? What was the whole reason of me seeing his poop? Until 3 episodes, I just could not take away that scene. I'm like, why? What was the intention? Why should I see that? I'm like, why? Yo? And in the next episode 2 starting, we see someone peeing. I'm like, I kind of, whenever there was I know some nudity, I just blocked my eyes. I just closed my eyes. I just could not see. I don't know what I missed. Please, director, why was it required? Or if anyone knows about it, why? Please, pull me out of this torture and please comment why that scene was required, man. Why? Okay, coming to the plot. Still, I can't get over that. Okay, coming to the plot. It's not as intense as Game of the Thrones nor House of the Dragons. It's most about the night, about that, Sir Dunk, and who kind of wants to become a knight. So he comes to, where they have this contest, so where he comes to participate and all the chaos happens there. And there's a small kid who like sneaks in and comes to be the squire of Sir Duncan. He tells, are you Sir Dunk? Is it short for Sir Duncan? Then he's like, yeah, it's short for Sir Duncan. And he's very, very tall. I don't know, he's 6 feet, whatever. He's very tall in the series. And so he's like, he names himself Sir Duncan the Tall. I mean, that was funny. And like this little kid, I was like, how can he speak so well? I mean, he has fabulous. It's mostly about their two bond, like how they come and how they are fighting, how they're dwelling, what they talk. It's nice, and I just feel bad for the kid. I mean, there are environment, like I remember Sansa Stark telling she got her sex ed from Game of the Thrones, and I feel he's way much younger, and he talks about, I don't know, balls and other things, telling his story. I feel he's just a bit young to hear or see all these things and to recite those dialogues. I don't know. I just felt maybe a little, how do I say, little older boy, or maybe they would not have made him speak about these things, whatever. And then later we realize he is the king. Not king, I would say king's son. They don't tell it directly, but indirectly, how do I say? He's Aegon. I'm like, he knows all about the history, so he is Aegon. And then he's like king, and too many chaos happen. And at the end, those two, like, he's like, I take him as a like king. Tells him after all the chaos and too much battle, losing hair, too much thing happens. He's like, my son wants to be your squire, and he's not ready to be a squire to any of the knight. Will you take him? First, Sir Duncan tells no, and then he tells yes. And then he's like, but I have a condition. I don't want to be in the, don't want to be, how do I tell, to be jailed or in a prison, in a castle, or in the walls. I want to just roam. I want to do exactly what my knight did, roaming all the kingdoms and enjoying it. Even I want to do that. I want to show him, like, someday we'll stay in an inn, someday we'll in a stable, someday we'll stay with the lowly lord, like low lords, and sometimes we'll stay with the high. But the king is like, no, I don't want my son to be in poor or shacks. So he's like, no. But then the little kid, Aegon, comes and tell my father agreed, and they go. And then at the end you see king is like, where is Aegon, where is Aegon? You're like, oh man. So Aegon has not told. So that makes a fun watch. Here Sir Duncan is a very righteous person, very cool. And I just didn't get the Game of Thrones vibe. It's more like a breezy kind of a series. It was like half an hour, 40 minutes, I think 8 episodes. I don't know, it was way out of Game of Thrones, and I felt it was a little boring. I don't know, I felt Game of Thrones was obviously the best. House of the Dragon season 1 was good with a lot of, story developing, plot, even though there was no war, but there was a lot of story developing. Season 2, I didn't like as much. I thought the war build-up was very similar to how I saw in Game of Thrones. But this is a bit different, but it definitely makes for an interesting watch. That's what I would like to tell and conclude. So, bye bye. And you know what? It's not 7 kingdoms, it's 9 kingdoms. So the series ends with Night of 9 Kingdoms.